Fallout 4.
That gameplay.
Yeah, and the most amazing thing about it, it's coming out this year.
I think it's November 10th.
What were some of the things from the gameplay did you guys were like, oh my god, this is something new?
When he got into the power armor, that was crazy. It's like, so do you not get regular power armor in the games anymore? And you literally have to get it dropped in via vertibird.
And how long does it last for?
Well, I guess you can upgrade it and that will change over time. But it's like, oh, okay. So by the end of the game, we're not going to be forced into power armor because otherwise we'll get butt raped by everything. In Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas, if you don't end up in power armor by the end, you haven't done it right. I mean, they've got the new VAT system in Fallout 4. That looks freaking cool.
Yeah.
With a slowdown time instead of just freezing the game. That looks so cool.
And they've actually optimized first-person shooting.
And all of the armor is completely customized, like it's layered armor. And also
customizable weapons.
In terms of customization, not just the armor but the weapons as well. There's over 50 base weapons and 700 customization options. But that's not all. In certain spots in the wasteland, you can actually build and maintain towns that you build from scratch. And you build these generators that you then power your town, like turrets and stuff to defend them. And you get communities together, like traders and people living there, like growing food and then sending trade caravans between your towns, and you can have your own network of towns and become a pimp. That'd be cool if you could actually become a pimp in Fallout 4. And the fact you can now get in a vertibird and fly around with a minigun and just fuck shit up.
America.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty
and then
America.
Obviously there were a number of things leaning towards the Brotherhood of Steel being bad guys in this game. Like, you see a lot of them being killed in the gameplay. If you look carefully enough, that he's killing a lot of Brotherhood
I only
initiates.
remembered him shooting that tiny little mutant rat.
Yeah, with
That's
VATS.
all I remember. Everyone was cheering, but all I was thinking was, that's not impressive, you just shot a little rodent.
No, it was
If
the
it was
VATS
like a
system that was
giant...
impressive.
What did you think of the environment? Awesome.
People were complaining about the graphics, but
No,
Jesus Christ.
dude! That is one of the
Shut the
best
fuck up.
environments I've ever seen in a video game ever. It's so pristine, and the lighting is incredible.
Yeah, the only one bad thing is on consoles it's releasing 1080p 30 frames a second. But to be honest, I don't give a fuck. Because all of the content they showed at E3 was on the Xbox One, I think. It seemed to be, or they might have been playing it on PC but with an Xbox controller, I don't know.
It may just have been a dev kit version of the Xbox One.
Actually, they did show some exclusive content at the Microsoft conference, so I'm assuming they showed it on the Xbox, and it looks fantastic.
It does. And even bigger, Bethesda have always been, they're bringing modding to the game's consoles. Mods on consoles is actually fucking here. Not just on Fallout 4, there's also Map Creator and Game Creator and Everything Creator on the new Doom, which also looks fucking awesome.
Doom.
Jack and I were saying whilst we watched it, it looks like the generic video game that you see in the background in films, but it looks so fucking cool.
It looks amazing. The gameplay looks really cool. Like, I think they showed the BFG off right at the end there against that massive dude that drops down, that demon guy. And then they showed a bit of the multiplayer where you can actually play as the Revenant if you find the, like, little, whatever the devil symbol's called, I can't remember what it's called, pentagram or whatever. You find that and you turn into the Revenant for a bit, and then they showed the creation kit where you can create your own levels, change the way that the rules work in the game, so you can create your own game modes as well. Pretty much change everything, apart from the actual physical assets.
Mass Effect Andromeda. The fact that you can travel to another galaxy. In the Mass Effect games, you use these relays to get from one point to the other side of the galaxy. But it looks as if they didn't use it in the trailer. It's cool because it's always been in the Milky Way, but now we're going to travel to a completely different galaxy and introduce new races, is a concept that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But I was thinking from the title that it was going to be like how Gears of War and God of War franchises were going to end up. Like, the Mass Effect was going to end up like that, where they had 3 story-driven games, and then the 4th one was just like a multiplayer game with a funny title. Next game, The Last Guardian. What did you think of that?
It finally got announced.
Wow.
After
6 years. 6 years.
2009?
It still looks like it's been played on the PS3 because, you know, it's been delayed for that long.
It didn't quite have the stunning effect it had back in the day.
I'm still getting nostalgic feeling from playing Shadow of the Colossus and remembering how awesome that game was.
I've never actually played that game, so
Dude.
I wasn't feeling that amazed by
I
it.
think the only aspect they reintroduced was the whole atmospheric map that you interact with, and it's like these two. I don't know. You just feel so small compared to, like, the kid felt so small compared to that massive eagle. What was it? It was like a griffin, like a weird dog.
Evil griffin dog thing.
Yeah, it was really cool though.
That was pretty.
I wonder what
sweet.
language he was speaking. Some people have been saying he was Turkish.
No idea, but I know that he was obviously shouting the words as a button was pressed.
Good, because I'm glad like a game like that is coming out amongst all these games that are very first-person shooter or multiplayer-driven. There's not enough solo games that have come out in recent years.
It looked pretty interesting. I feel that it would get boring after a while if it doesn't step its game up a little bit. Yeah, I couldn't help but feel that little kid was calling to the monster or whatever it is constantly, and it was taking a very long time to respond. Like he stood there going hello, 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 at it for like 5 minutes, and it would just sort of slowly stare at him for a bit and then come over.
Yeah,
it looked good, but I'm not.
Maybe that that grows over time. Maybe the creature becomes more aware and becomes more well trained over time. I'm not sure.
I don't know any of the story aspects if they've released any so far, but I noticed that there were a few little wooden things sticking out of its back, so it might be being hunted by someone or hated by people. Then the little kid's the only one that actually understands the beast. What about Unraveled?
Yeah.
Dude, the guy that was announcing that game, he looked really nervous. I actually felt really sorry for him.
I thought it was really cute.
He was shaking in his boots, dude.
Did you see his hands when he went to...
I made this, the doll.
He reached into his jacket with his hands shaking, really badly.
I felt really sorry, because he was just like, it was his first time going to that sort of event.
He grabbed the little hand and was like, hello! No. When you do that really awkward laugh and say no, you know he's nervous.
Poor guy.
But the game looked really cool. He's looked like a really cool little... a really cool dude from a development team of like 14 people. He was following his dream. This is the game he wanted to make for a long time. I thought it was one of the best parts of the show.
He was the
only bloody genuine guy there.
Yeah, E3 is famous for their cock-ups and awkward moments. Like the like my body is ready, or that one guy from the Konami conference years and years ago where he was just talking to 1 million troops. 1 million. If you have to watch the 2010 Konami conference.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a fuck up though.
No.
I really think he was thrown at the deep end though.
Yeah, he really was. He's just a really humble Swedish dude who's he's never been. This is his first time being at one of these huge events. You could tell.
Yeah. And he thought up with the idea of Yanni, and I think this is going to be a competitor with Sackboy. Yanni's kind of special though, because it's not just a bit of fun in a video game, it's not just a cute little gimmick. It's like, Yarn, he represents life. Like, when you see the muddled mess of Yarn, you've made it to where you want it to be, but not quite how you expected, I suppose. It's all a big jumbled mess, but it's all there, and it's sort of a representation of life, and you could tell he was really passionate about it, and all the thought he put behind it, and he was super nervous, because obviously he's just an indie developer from Sweden, suddenly gets thrown into E3.
Tell you what the funniest one was when the creators of South Park were announcing their new game, and they were like, "These mics fucking suck." They were just talking about how sucky they were, trying to explain the game by hiding in some sexual innuendo by saying, "Yeah, so we go up the butthole, really far up the butthole." Have you seen? What did you think of the new South Park game?
I didn't look. I didn't watch it.
It's called South Park: The Fractured Butthole. And there's supposed to be a little joke in that title.
The fractured
butthole.
Right. I don't think this game will do anywhere as well as the Stick of Truth.
Well, they've changed the style so that they're all superheroes instead of like the whole fantasy realm with wizards and dragons and stuff like that.
I must admit, South Park's kind of lost its way. I don't think it even knows what it wants to do anymore.
What, the show or the video games? That's just the whole thing.
Just South Park in general.
No, that's not true.
I still like South Park.
South Park is still incredibly well written and really well up to date. Like they're aware of what's going on around the world.
Like they'll get news in 3 days' time. An episode will be out.
Like every week they make an episode.
It doesn't take them a week. It takes them 3 days.
Is it?
Really? Yeah. I watched their documentary.
I watched it as well. I thought it was just a week.
No, it's 3 days.
They show gameplay of more gameplay of Uncharted 4 as well.
Yeah.
That was cool. I can imagine that scene in the game where you're driving down the hill. That's gonna take frickin' ages to get past that level. I'm just gonna crash into so many things. Like when I was watching it, was like trying to figure out the route. So when I eventually get the game, it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch the E3 conference that came out a year ago.
Yeah.
And see how they did it.
You know that's all scripted. It is quite possible that level is just for E3.
Didn't they have a fuck up at one point where there was a cutscene and then the character wouldn't move?
Yeah, the controller that he had was for the backup console, and he couldn't find the controller, and then they brought a controller out to him, which was the wrong controller. He then had to go and switch to the other controller.
It was funny because the other guy was just like, come on, Nathan, let's go.
They had to reset the screen and play on the backup console because they couldn't find the controller for the proper one. It was like, the highlight of Sony's conference, and they fucked it up. Just look great though.
I find it strange that none of you are mentioning the one game that's going to rule the market. No.
No,
A game
not
that
now.
not yet.
Not yet. Saving it up.
This game has been in the making for years, and then it died. And now, the people who lost the fucking game have come back and are asking for your money to make Shenmue 3!
So they're remaking Final Fantasy VII. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah, they are. It looks really, really cool.
I never played 7, but
my brother did. I was too young to remember when it came out. When did it come out? It was like 97?
it was on the PS1 anyway.
It's considered one of the best, from what I know.
But yeah,
apparently they've made, it's not completely the same. Like they've made subtle changes to the actual game. I don't know.
That wouldn't surprise me. Like some of the environments might need a bit of a change up because no matter how much you graphically improve some of it
not graphically, but story-wise. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, I don't know what the story was anyway. They announced Dishonored 2.
Dishonored, cool. Hopefully it'll be longer this time. The other one was too short.
Well,
Short, but sweet.
You get to play as Emily from the first game, growing up, or you get to play as Corvo. It's basically the same, but you play it twice. Once as Emily and once as Corvo.
Have they introduced new power-ups, or those new gadgets? What they're called?
Emily has a completely unique skill set of outsider powers, or whatever they're called. Some of them have similar effects, but she's got an entirely unique skill set to Corvo. And Corvo's got the same and upgraded, and a couple of new abilities, because he's grown more attuned, and he's much more adept than he was, because it's like 15 years later, I think. Looks pretty cool. A couple of EA announced a couple of games. FIFA.
With female footballers in it now.
Wow. Equality. Woo. So excited.
I fucking hate equality.
I don't give a fuck. The last FIFA game I actually played and enjoyed, it was 2003. And that was only because I was too young to care.
That was the one with the guy with the glasses on the front, right?
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
He had his golden goggle glasses thing.
Oh, he always looked funny to me.
Looked ridiculous. I'm glad you actually remembered that though.
Yeah, I do. I just remember that sticking out of my mind. Like, who's the most unique looking footballer ever? It was that one guy with the weird goggles.
Yeah.
And the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With his horse mouth.
Did Valve announce anything? Valve.
Well, Steam announced that they're doing refunds on games that you don't enjoy. Steam refunds.
That's kind of something they should have had a long time ago, but...
And a certain video game that came out recently, starring a certain Dark Knight, the PC port was refunded so many times that what said publisher had to take it off of Steam because they were losing so much money. The PC port of Batman Arkham Knight was so buggy and atrocious because they decided to outsource it to a 12-man development team to port the entire game onto PC in like 6 weeks or something, and they fucked it up really badly. And the game is so poorly put together as a PC port that they had to take it down because there were so many refunds that Warner Brothers were losing more money than they were making.
Do you guys think we've made it to the next gen? Like,
yes.
The early games that came out for PS4 and Xbox One were mediocre at best, but now we've actually stepped into next gen.
I think we're 3/4 of the way there. I think by December 2015 we will have gone. I think next gen will be here because we will have got games like The Division, Fallout 4, There was another one that was going to come out this year that everyone was excited for.
Right.
I think.
Battlefront.
The one that everyone came for. I'm
Fallout
assuming.
4.
Yeah, partly. Okay, so what did you think of Battlefront?
DICE, Star Wars Battlefront. Right.
There was 2 trailers. There's the co-op one, and then there was the Hoth multiplayer one.
The Hoth multiplayer one, I was
far better though.
I was very nearly blown away. There are 1 or 2 bits that I have complaints about, like the little cards that are in the bottom right. I don't know, the way you can go in the snow speeder or whatever it's called, the ones that you fly around the AT-ATs and you tie their legs together and make them fall over. They've made it too easy by the looks of it. You fly next to it and you just hit R1 or L1 and there you go. Whereas in the old Battlefront game, you'd either have to have a second person or you'd switch seats for a second, grapple on, switch back, fly around, and then it would go down. I don't know.
I'm thinking I would prefer to play as the Empire, because they've got the coolest stuff. I'd love to be in I'm mixing up all these names for vehicles in Star Wars. The sound effect that the fin makes. Fuck.
The what now?
The ones that go.
Oh, TIE Fighters.
TIE Fighters. That's the one. Yeah, I want to be doing that all day long. It just sounds. It was the coolest sound effect ever.
It's a terrible yet recognisable impression.
It's like a Godzilla that's struggling
Like a
to
dying
get up.
velociraptor.
No, it sounds like a Godzilla struggling to get up in the morning.
First person looks great. Third person looks just as good. Better than I thought it would be. Vehicle combat, you haven't really seen that much. There was 1 bit where you were flying a snowspeeder and 1 bit where he was in the AT-AT, and those looked okay. And then there was the orbital strikes. They look okay. They look alright.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if, like, and I hate it if they decided to do this, but wouldn't it be funny if they introduced like Call of Duty styled kill streaks, and the last one would be like the Death Star, and you'd blow up the planet. If you get the Death Star and you charge it up, and then boom, Hoth is gone.
But no, I hope not.
Death Star report.
Maybe if they have a Galactic Conquest.
They don't have Galactic Conquest. I've just read an article saying they don't have it. Yeah.
Maybe they'll add it in later on if
Maybe.
we're lucky.
And the Darth Vader scene.
Yes, and the combat between heroes looks like it's much improved.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you can actually
I don't know if I was a big fan of the fact that Luke just force pushed 3 people and they all died instantly, or if only like 1 of them died, but they were just sort of stunned.
Hey, if Starkiller can do it, he can do it.
Then he actually runs through and like locks sabers with Vader, and I don't know if that's actually going to be part of the game.
Locking and fusing sabers.
I really hope it's not just either a button mashing or a whoever gets there first kind of thing. I hope it's not just like, you have to press a button at the right time and you win. I hope it's actually got something to do with skill.
Quick time events and button mashing, hate them.
Yeah, exactly. Talking about hand-to-hand combat, another game that apparently a lot of people are excited for, that I cannot remember the name of, that one where the sword fighting and you'd actually get into the battles and
sword fighting.
You'd actually have to block and do you know the game Medieval Warfare?
I'm thinking Chivalry. That's all I can think of.
Chivalry, yeah.
Similar.
Yeah, that's the one.
Right.
That's the one I was thinking of. It's very similar. It's a little bit of a similar concept to Chivalry, but the combat is greatly improved.
Right.
I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but a lot of people were excited about that, and it does look quite cool.
I just remembered a game. Yeah, there was a game that they announced. Can't remember which studio or what, if it was Sony or Microsoft. Yeah, I think it was Microsoft. They announced this game called Horizon Dawn something?
Yeah.
And you play as this girl who's like a part of a tribe, I think?
Yes.
And you're trying to kill these robotic dinosaur animal
Now
things.
that looks next gen as fuck.
Wow.
That game looks
Talk about
absolutely
blown
astonishing.
away.
Yeah, definitely.
It looks so
that,
real.
That game, it looks absolutely
the
amazing.
boss battle looked cool as well.
Yeah,
that boss battle
shooting it in
was
particular
really
places.
Interesting.
That's going to be a difficult game, but I reckon it's going to be so amazing. I'll end up just standing there and panning the camera around for about 3 hours.
I'm interested in the story though.
Oh yeah.
It's got
where humanity's gone back to sort of a tribal,
exactly.
But there are robotic dinosaurs walking around.
I was wondering like what that was a weird mix of the future and the past. I just think.
Yeah, very strange, but it's very, very awesome. Another game they announced, I can't remember the name of it, but there's this woman and she's got her little robot dog with her, and then it explodes itself and she picks up this core that was inside of it, puts it in this big gorilla tank thing, and she walks around with her like robot pets. I have no idea what the story will be.
I'm really interested in these original games.
Yeah, they're announcing loads of new IPs.
Yeah.
Like Horizon Dawn and things like that. They all look spectacular, and hopefully they'll be okay. One disappointing thing that did come out of E3, although it still looks like it's going to be amazing, apparently Division is getting a graphical downgrade.
And why is that?
Which seems to be common now.
With most games, or just?
With a few games nowadays, it seems as though graphical downgrading is the way to go. Ever since Watch Dogs came out, and everyone's instantly just gone, "Oh, Division's going to be shit because it doesn't look as good as it used to." Although it looks like it's going to be an amazing game, and obviously as they're adding features in, they realise that they have to cut down the visuals a little bit, otherwise it won't run on consoles. So fuck. It still looks fucking amazing though.
I don't think you should be too focused on graphics. No, maybe not.
Talking about graphics though, they've released and I have played the Gears of War Ultimate Edition beta, whatever, for the multiplayer, and 1080p 60 frames, graphically and mechanically improved Gears of War 1 looks to be a good one.
Are they remastering anything else?
The Nathan Drake collection's coming out.
What would you like to be remastered? Remastered, is that the correct term?
Yeah.
Rebooted?
Remastered or rebooted video game.
Bring back, make some changes, obviously make it HD.
The old game Populous pops into mind. Populous. That would be cool if they remade it in like HD. Trying to think of like a third or first person game. I don't know about Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
No, I don't think that really counts. Think of a game that's considered a classic around the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1 era.
Not Star Wars. The Lord of the Rings: The Third Age. I think that'd be great if they remastered it. It was a Final Fantasy combat style RPG, turn-based.
I remember that.
I love that game. I played it through and completed it twice. But I think that'd look great. That'd be cool if they remastered that. Maybe obviously they announced the new Street Fighter 5, but if they were to remaster Street Fighter 2 and just upgrade the visuals but keep exactly the same art style, and like the game was exactly the same, but HD.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking cool.
I'm trying to think.
And they should bring it out on the fucking Xbox One, because Street Fighter 5 isn't coming to Xbone at all.
Oh, boo-hoo.
They've got an exclusive deal that they're only bringing it out on PC and PS4. And that's my favourite fighting game franchise, and they're betraying me. Bastards. Oh. Now I'm going to have to get Fallout 4, PlayStation 4.
Are you going to get it? Are you going to replace the Xbone, or are you just going to have both?
I'm going to have both.
Okay, that sounds like a done deal.
But I'm only going to get a PS4 after I finish building my PC. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a game, but
Crash Bandicoot. No. Oh, actually, they did announce the Rare collection.
Of Crash Bandicoot?
Games, like Banjo-Kazooie and
Oh, I don't care about them.
Conquers Bad Fur Day. They're making a collection.
That's Nintendo. I want Naughty Dog from Sony, Naughty Dog for the PlayStation to bring back the classics like Jak and Daxter. That'd be great. Jak and Daxter, the precursor legacy, they brought that back, made some nice changes to it, because it was a beautiful game from what I remember, like a beautiful world.
Yeah.
If they added like George Lucas-esque details, not in the same way as George Lucas did to the Star Wars films, but just some more details.
Yeah, adding in a few little things here and there.
Yeah.